Okay, I've got one more shout out idea for today. Then I should be done with shout outs. I'm gonna leave the rest to the other guys. Let's go do that. I'm gonna go do that. I gotta eat. I don't got time to vlog right now, sorry. Okay, and I'm back. That shout out went pretty well. It's much shorter, very simple, but it was fun to try and make the cinematics and lighting and sound really good. So, that's great, that's off my plate. It's raining. Do I wanna run in the rain? Honestly, the question is not whether I will eat this. It is when I will eat this. Not right now. I need water. The Nintendo Switch. Lately I've been really down on this system because I felt that it's just so graphically underpowered. A year or two ago, I gave my brother my copy of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't know if you know this, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe just keeps on selling copies. It's one of the best-selling video games ever, I think. Definitely the best-selling game on Switch. And it just would not get cheaper. But I really wanted to play the new DLC courses, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna bite the bullet and buy it. This game reminded me that the Switch is not necessarily underpowered. It's that when they try to make games like this, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the art direction is amazing. And on a more powerful system, it would look quite good. But on this system, it's so muddy. But then with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they worked within the limitations of the system. It made something that looks so colorful and clean and sharp and runs so well. They work within the limitations of the system and they produce something amazing. But when you try to play something like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you just wish that it was on another system. The portability is no longer really a factor that really excites me anymore. And I think that's been my big problem, is that the other systems exist and they're making games that don't suit the system well. Like even Kirby and the Forgotten Land, it runs at 30 frames per second, for God's sake. How could a Kirby game run at 30 frames per second? That's just... The gameplay will always trump the graphics, but graphics have become a bigger and bigger hurdle for me. And I honestly wish that wasn't the case, because it used to not be. Back in the PS3, Xbox 360 generation, that was when people really started comparing graphics from console to console. And I remember thinking like, who cares? 720p, 680p, 960p, there were just people throwing all these P's out there. And now I'm one of them. Ah! Why? Anyways, I don't know if all that makes sense, but it just feels like so many of these games, they don't fit the Switch. They're just ports from other systems that look like garbage. I wish this thing wasn't so heavy. I really need to move this, but... Okay, now it is time for this banana bread. I don't know where this is coming from. But see, the thing is, my mom, she doesn't leave out stuff like this if she actually wants to eat it. She doesn't really eat stuff like this anyway. Or at least if it's not a special occasion. That's not bad. Not bad! In video games, lots of times you hear NPCs yell things in other languages. I remember some game they yelled something very specific in Spanish. And every now and then I'd be walking through the house and I'd just be saying that to myself. I found out what it means the other day. And I can't repeat it, because it's not a good word. I mean, it's not that bad or anything, but... banana bread pretty good, man. YouTube video of choice during lunch today was Van Neistat, Casey Neistat's brother, talking about New York City. His experience doesn't align with mine exactly, but the way he feels about the city is pretty similar to how I feel about it. It is an amazing place, and if you're an American, you should definitely live there for a year just to see what it's all about. So much of the culture in America originates in New York City. So to get a sense of like especially when you watch TV and stuff and you're like, I don't understand what they're talking about. You go there and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see. But actually living there is just such a horrific experience. And there are people who will go there and they will love it. And I'm so happy for them. Oh my God, I am not one of them. I actually haven't given that much thought to where specifically I live. You'd think that'd be something that I would think about more, as meticulous as I am about other aspects of my life, but for some reason, it's not been too much of a concern of mine. Indiana is not a culturally good fit for me. It's just not. The majority of the people that live here do not feel the same way I do about lots of things. Which is weird because I've lived here all of my life and I am a product of Indiana. They're called Hoosiers, I hate that name, but I am a Hoosier. I have this really strong feeling that other Hoosiers would look at me and be like, well, who are you to talk crap about this place? And I would say, well, I've lived here since I was 2 years old. I lived a lot of other places. And being a Hoosier, I'm allowed to say what I want about my place, because this is my place for better or worse. So yeah, culturally, it is not a good fit, but lifestyle-wise, it is quite a good fit. The winters aren't too harsh, summers aren't too hot, there's never any traffic if it's not rush hour, living costs are nice and low, it's centrally located to so many different places. I actually do really like living here, but it's never been a conscious thing, it's just like, this is where I'm from. And all of my family is here, so that's a pretty strong incentive to stay. So as long as I can still travel relatively easily, pretty good, it's pretty good. Anyway, a little music writing today. I have tried before to have a separate music setup that was always set up. I was like, oh, that'll get me to write more music. No, it won't. I gotta find a way to reprogram my brain to how I feel about writing music, because it is very exciting when you have a blank page, but those frustrating days are so frustrating that they almost become traumatizing and are just like this paralyzing agent to me getting started. So you might be wondering why there's all these wine bottles here. I could explain it, or I could leave it as a mystery. I will just explain it. The senior center where my mom works, they have a yearly fundraiser and they have this thing called a wine pull. You pay $10 and you get a random bottle of wine. These are all the leftover ones, they're gonna use them next year, but they just need to be cataloged so she has them at the house. The reason I say I could leave it as a mystery is because I'm sure there are so many things in my life and about this house and about just random things about me that are like, why is this a thing? Or you might have assumptions about some things, or you might not know the whole backstory. Some of the things I purposely leave out, and some of the things are just, I can't explain this again because I feel stupid for explaining it one more time. And about a year or two ago, I decided to stop reading comments because it just got me so in my own head. It made it paralyzing to even make the videos. It wasn't about negative comments, and it wasn't about positive comments. It was just any feedback at all. And just the knowledge that people are paying so much attention to what's happening just paralyzed me. I'm like, should I say this? Should I not say this? Should I show this? Should I not show this? So once again, I would like to apologize that I don't read the comments. However, recently I have been dabbling, checking comments on a video every now and then. And sometimes I'll get comments that I just so badly want to reply and set the record straight and just be like, dude, you just... And then other times I get very nice comments and I'm like, oh man, I really want to respond, but then I felt stupid responding. So I still don't know how to exactly handle that. But recently I just felt like I've kind of been shouting into the void, and I'm just like, what am I doing, dude? I'm just saying things into the ether and I have no idea what people think of them, which is fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. I think like 95% of YouTube is just that. If all of these digital medias, like the videos I make, last long enough and survive long enough, when people look at what was happening in current times and then look at these vlogs and then match them up, they'll be like, what was this guy doing? Isn't it weird that all of these things can be happening at the same time that you can have like this bubble of a video existence? When it comes to my actual like day-to-day working life, you are getting a fairly accurate picture of what that looks like. But everything outside of that, any of my personal interactions with friends and family and relationships, You don't see any of that. You used to see a lot more of it. You don't see hardly any of it now. But I really feel like if you think too hard about what you're making creatively that's going to be for an audience, you'll just paralyze yourself out of existence. And you'll never be able to do anything without worrying about how people are gonna think about it. Anyways, all that is to say, I've been reading some comments lately, so maybe I'll start responding to them. And also, it's about time I did another live stream. Pizza party? I will have another pizza party before 2 years have elapsed. So get your pizzas ready. But that is it for today's vlog. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, one more thing. I was reading through some of the comments, and this one I will address. People, it was like, they keep asking, like, am I like this in real life? Yes. I don't know what is so weird about the way I am in real life, but this is just the way that I am. This is the stuff that I talk about. This is the way that I act. These are the sounds I make. You don't even get all of the sounds that I make. I make so many sounds every day. So yes, you can rest assured this is who I am. This is how I act. And it's not even like a camera filter anymore. When I first started making these videos, there was a lot more like self-consciousness in front of the camera. There's none of that. There's no barrier anymore. There's no hesitancy. This is just me in this empty house talking like how I normally talk to the people that I know the best. So I hope that mystery is solved. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
Tell the mayor I'm here now. Tell the mayor I'm here now. Tell the mayor I'm here now. Tell the mayor I'm here now.